Hey everyone, welcome back to another video today. So I'm going to be showing you the new Fender Eliminator that I purchased for my Ducati Scrambler Night Shift 2022. So I did purchase it from NRC. I did a lot of research online, and this is, I think, the best Fender Eliminator that you could get for this bike, at least on the look that I was getting. I wanted something really low profile, something to where you couldn't really see it from some angles, because I am a photographer and I wanted to get some good photos of this bike. I didn't like how some Fender Eliminators were mounted on the side, so I wanted it to be kind of tucked in under the seat, and I was a little skeptical from this because it seemed like it would be like very poorly visible from the police. However, when I installed it, it actually turned out really good, and you can see it very clearly, a lot better than some other bikes that I've seen on the internet. So without further ado, let me show you the Fender Eliminator on the bike. So if you can see from here, the plate is now tucked up right under the rear seat, and it got rid of that entire mounting bracket that was on the back rear tire. If you remember from the left side here, this is where the mounts were, where it kind of hung over and sat right here, but now it's all tucked under and super flush. If you look and stand behind the bike, you can still clearly see the plate, and then if you come from the side angle here, it sort of just disappears and sort of just goes with the overall look of the bike. And this is another reason why I really like the rear seat, because it adds some cool angle to the bike. So I really like that aspect of it. So now another really cool thing that this Fender Eliminator does come with is a set of rear turn signals. So if I turn the bike on here, you'll see that it's super flush right with the rear end of the bike, so it's tucked here under. If you guys remember before, the two original rear blinkers were hanging out kind of like right here. They hung out probably about maybe 4 to 6 inches, and they sort of, again, didn't look well on the rear end of the bike. So I really liked that now the new blinkers that come with this are tucked under, they're flush, you don't really notice them. They look really good, and overall I was really ecstatic with the quality that NRC delivered with overall just the entire setup. And on saying that, if I had to rate NRC's Fender Eliminator for quality and for overall look, I would say it's 5 stars. But if I had to rate the installation of this, it definitely would be a 1-star review, only because the directions that they include are terrible. They do not outline anything of what you need to do. I was lost. They included like 3 pictures and said you plug in 2 things and boom, it works, but that is not the case. There's a lot more that you have to do to get this to work properly. And if it wasn't for Kid James, who posted a longer video on the actual installation of this, if he didn't post that video, because he went through every single step, every issue that he fell through, I definitely would not have been able to install this, or it would have taken me a lot longer. I would have needed to ask for help from someone, because there are a lot of issues with this getting it installed. So first off, he had some issues with the screw stripping, which I almost did, but I was able to sort of avoid that issue. But the one thing that I think is not avoidable by anyone who wants to install this on their bike is the holes do not match up when you're actually mounting the license plate onto the bike. So I'll show you guys here in a sec. So the first 2 bolts that actually get the plate on here work well, but then you need to mount these 2 bolts under here, and this is what sort of keeps the entire bracket flush with the shape of the bike. So there's a bolt here on the right side, and then there's a bolt here, if you guys can see that, on the left side. So both of those did not match up. They were about a 1/2 inch off each. And if you guys can kind of see a little bit, here, I'll get it a little bit tighter for you guys. So you can see that I had to sort of, that was the original hole, and I sort of had to drill out farther to get this to fit properly. Now, I didn't think it was that difficult to do. It sort of took me about an hour trying to figure out how much more I needed to drill the holes to get it to align properly. But after about an hour, I got it installed. And you really have to put some force down, because it's actually hard to push the material to be flush with the bike. But once when you get it in the hole and drill it in, it's fine. And really, besides that, everything else I would say was pretty minimal. I will include a link to the Kid James. Definitely go check out his video if you want to learn how to properly install this on your Ducati Scrambler. It should fit on any of those bikes. I'll include the link to his video in the description. But with further ado, thank you for tuning in today's video and checking out my 2022 Ducati Scrambler. I'm glad that you guys liked the first video. I think that the bike sounds really awesome. It's phenomenal. I love riding it. I'm gonna do some more content of this bike here in the next couple weeks. I wanna get some more riding videos and do some better flybys for you guys. So tune in, and thanks for watching.